my name is Daniel Otti. I'm with Firefly Aerial Photography Services, and we have a package here. I received a gift in the mail 2 days ago, and I haven't been able to get to unboxing it. So what we want to do today is unbox our Phantom 4. I've seen unboxing videos before. What I'm going to try to do with my video is, sometimes they just glaze over stuff. I want you to see the unboxing from the start. Complete. Open the box, pull it out. Here we open the box, and this is what we see first. We see a white box with a handle on it. So I'm going to grab that handle, and I'm going to pull it out of the shipping box. Let's see what we got. Little Phantom 4 comes in handy little box. We'll get this shipping box out of the way. Alright, sturdy handle, sturdy box. We'll just cut through the tape. And I'm just lifting up the box, pulling these little handles apart. From the start we have a gray container, good sturdy handle with a latch on it. Slides right out of the box. And this was what looks like a handy little case for when you first get it and you don't have a case. This is a handy way to open it. Looks okay. You gotta pull the lever out, you gotta turn it. And then we've got tape on here, a little sealing deal. Pull that off and open the box. And there we have the DJI Phantom 4 in all its raw nature. Okay, got the controller here, the Phantom 4 here. We will pull the Phantom 4 out, and you see it's got a nice glossy shiny finish. It's actually looks a little smaller than the Phantom 2 that I'm grading up from. You can see them side by side. I guess when you put them up there, they're pretty close. When you put them together, they're pretty close in size and nature. Width looks the same, we just don't have the different lines. It's a smoother, sleeker finish. Phantom 4 has the vents out the side. This has different vents on the bottom. The Phantom 2 obviously has the gimbal and the GoPro all separate from, when I bought this I had to put the iOS and everything on separate. I have a ground station all separate on here, separate add-ins that cost me more for that one than it does for this one to have the nice neat package with the integrated camera. And again, some of you may have the 3 and may have seen some of this, some of these upgrades from the 3, from the 2 to the 3. It's a little handy little protector for the camera to carry it around. Once that's off, the camera becomes free and loose there. We can see that the camera is handled from both sides, which in the Phantom 3, obviously not the case. No wires, no mess. You look on this, I got all the wires and the mess for the gimbal, and that's I was just doing an upgrade, so I got the cable sticking out of that one yet. But and also the battery. That's the battery for Phantom 4. It plugs in at the end rather than. It's got a nice space for it in there. Compared to the Phantom 2, comes out a little harder. You can see the difference in the batteries. Okay. And the Phantom 2 plugs in up on the side here. The Phantom 4 plugs in on the back. You turn these around and take a look, and you can see the 4 is even much lighter. Without all, I think, without all the mechanisms and things on the outside, this Phantom 4 just feels a lot lighter than the 2. And the battery box is just a little bit wider. on that one. So I'll have you set that back, set it down on the ground there for now. And that is the Phantom 4 unit. Battery slides right in. Actually a nicer slide than on the Phantom 4. We have all of our manuals towards the front of the case where the handle is. We've got props in here. Looks like a really good number of props. Okay, 8 props. And we've got a different connection on here too. We've got a connection that slips right down and goes onto there. And we've got again the black, and we've got the silver. So there's a little silver arrow and a little black arrow. So I dropped that one, and then it's got the silver on the top, and it's just a quick connect right on there. There's a protective plastic piece over the over the blades where the connection goes. You gotta peel that out, and then it should just clip and turn, and that's good. Doesn't come off, doesn't move. Press the top and turn, and it comes off. And press down on, that's good and tight, good and tight. Press and turn, it comes right off. Handy dandy little deal. The rest of the information here, we got some different cables. Some more cables, and for charging I see something different already. It's got a different connection for charging than the 2 did. No plastic stuff around the charger. It's got that different connection for charging, and more cables here for the charger, and then the controller, and that is it for what is in the box. You can close that box up, turn it, put it down. You got a nice good seal on that box, so we can put it back in there, and then until we get a case for the 4, we will press the plastic holder down. Plastic on everything, just so you know when you unbox. You can tell get the plastic off, and then you can pour up. If you've had a Phantom 3, you probably know that. I'm a Phantom 2, so everything comes wrapped in plastic. Keeps it all nice looking. I see all the pretty videos out there where the guys don't have to do all this messing, and I guess I just want to do a video that is a genuine first time unbox. We haven't opened it up and taken everything off to make it look good for you. The controller is there's a power button here to power up. You got lights. I can see I got 3 out of the 4 lights there, and of course I just got it. So starting it up that way, we've got the knob on the side here. We've got 2 knobs here. We've got a pause button there. And a little sticker that I can't read. And again, the record button right here is also on top. So pull the little sticker off the top. Oh, that's the little switch. We got ADDI mode, GPS mode, and ADDI mode. Different switches up there. On top, record. Going to control the camera here. This is going to control the camera up and down. So that's what we got right now for the controller. I have an iPad Pro here, which I will be using on this guy. Okay, iPad Pro fits right in there real nice. And then clamps right down. We can tilt it up. It's got some ways to tilt. A nice sturdy holder there for the iPad Pro. I've gone ahead and I have the DJI Go app here that I downloaded previously, but haven't even opened it up. So I am opening up the app for the first time. It says connect to your DJI device. I'm going to turn on the Phantom 4. You can see it starting up for the first time. Not quite as much beeping as the 2 does. We get our lights starting to flip. Okay, you got to do the double tap on the remote to get her started the same way. Got a green light. I got 3 out of 4, and this is straight out of the box. So 3 out of 4 out of the box for charge, and 2 out of 4 on the back of the Phantom. You can see it lights up with the green power button and the 2 out of the 4. The lights are a little different. We got our flashing lights, the green and the red. The red is in the front, the green is in the back. I never did quite understand why red is in the front and the green is in the back, but we've got that. I'm going to go ahead and see what happens with connecting to the connect to your DJI Phantom 4. Phantom 4. Oh, I'm going to get some cables hooked up here. That's what we're doing wrong. So, one of the things I want to show you on the Phantom 4 that the Phantom 2 doesn't have any of, and the Phantom 3 has a little bit of, but it's been upgraded on, is the sensors on this Phantom 4. When you pull it out, you're going to see it right away. You're going to see that you've got the 2 eyes up front. Well, the Phantom 4 has obstacle avoidance. One of the things we're going to do is get this up in the air, and we're going to try and test it. And we're going to run it towards things. We're going to do a bunch of tests that we can do so for obstacle avoidance to see how it works. It's a brand new software. I imagine there's probably going to be some upgrades, some updates, some imperfections that need to be perfected as we go forward, because it's a brand new release on it. So I'm sure there will be issues with it, but it'll get straightened out. So we have the 2 eyes. They only work towards the front. They don't work to sides. They work towards the front, and they see you, and they avoid. They will go up, or they will go around, or they will, or the drone will, the Phantom 4 will stop. That's what the 2 forward eyes have. If you look underneath, we have 2 sensors on the bottom here. The Phantom 3 had sensor also, but these sensors are now, we got 4 sensors and eyes down here that are judging your distance to the ground. Again, now it only works up and down. It doesn't work forward, backwards, sideways. It only checks the ground. The sensor has to be able to see the ground and understand it. If you have a weird pattern or something, it could throw the sensors off. and also, you know, it has to have a clear shot to the ground. The previous Phantom 3, as I understand it, after about 10 or 12 feet, it stopped sensing. These sensors, I believe, are good to between 30 and 50 feet. That when they come down, we'll check that also. When we get up into the air, we'll do some testing, we'll watch our monitors, we'll see where those sensors start to kick in. We're going to test. This is a new bird. Some of this stuff is brand new technology. So we're going to get out there and we're going to test it. And hopefully we'll have some videos for you of us taking care of that going down the road. So alright, for just a minute now I'd like to take a little sidebar on safety and flying. Know your surroundings. Understand that these drones can get you in a lot of trouble. And there's a lot of different opinions about rules and regulations and FDA, and I'm not getting into all of that on this tutorial. What I do want to know is there's just common sense stuff that we all should be able to follow. And some of these are listed in this Flying Safely pamphlet that comes with the kit. Fly below 400 feet. Yeah, it's great to take these things up higher, but you get up higher and you start to get into aircraft, manned aircraft airspace, and you don't want these things flying around there unless you know what you're doing, if you know what's up there. Avoid flying over groups of people. The reason they have that right now is because these things will fall out of the sky. The technology is advancing every single day. New things are coming out. But right now, there's not a lot of safety about what happens if this thing stops flying in midair. So don't fly over people, fly around them. Be careful, do your safety, your risk assessments when people are around, that kind of stuff. Just be very careful. Never fly within 5 miles of an airport. You can fly within 5 miles of an airport if you follow the proper procedures, and that is notify the airport. Call, talk to somebody at the airport, notify them. You need to talk to them so you can know if there's aircraft in the air. They need to know you're in the air so that if an aircraft is coming into airspace and they know you're flying somewhere, they can call you and say, I've got an aircraft coming in, can you land? Yeah, okay, that's how we get along with manned and unmanned aircraft. We have to fly in the same space sometimes, and we have to be able to communicate. If you're some guy who's just going to go and take this drone and go out next to an airport and shoot it up there and take pictures of airplanes landing, you're a moron. Throw it in the garbage, get rid of it. I'm sorry if I offend anybody, but if you're going to do that kind of stuff, we don't want you anywhere. Those of us who do this commercially and professionally, we don't want you in the business. We don't want you around. We don't want you in the air. You're giving a bad name if you're flying this stuff in place where you shouldn't fly. Keep away from emergency situations. Again, there's a forest fire, there's something going on, there's a search and rescue, there's a proper procedure for using the drone in those areas. They, as a hobbyist, you have to sign off when you register that you're not going to fly in emergency situations, and that's appropriate. You're a hobbyist. You don't do this as a profession. For me as a professional, if I'm going to go in a situation where there's a missing person or there's a forest fire, they're going to call me in. They're going to know about me, they're going to call me in, they're going to want my services when I go there. I am not going to fly my drone in an area where my services are not wanted. If I think they can be of benefit and I haven't been called in, I am going to approach the incident commander. I'm going to find out where he is. If he tells me to get out of there, I'll step aside. But I will always report to the incident commander. I will only put my bird in the air when the incident commander tells me what to do and where to go and how to do it. He is the guy controlling everything on the ground. He's the guy I need to listen to. He's going to coordinate drones, aircraft, people, everything. That's his job. My job is to do what he needs me to do at the emergency situation. If you're a hobbyist, you've got no business being around emergency situations. So don't go there. Fly within line of sight. Right now that's where we are. The technology to be out of line of sight isn't confident enough and secure enough for the FDA to agree to go farther than that. avoid flying near other aircraft. Again, airports, manned. When they talk about other aircraft, they're talking about manned aircraft, airplanes, helicopters, that kind of stuff. You got no business being in the air when they're around. When you're in the air and an aircraft comes around, hopefully you've communicated with the airports. They notify you, you land, the aircraft goes over, you can go back up, finish what you need to do. That's the proper procedures. We don't just go out and put these birds in the air and take pictures of airplanes flying around. That's just not a safe thing to do. Be aware of the FAA regulations or the guidelines, whatever you want to call them for right now. Very soon there's going to be FAA regulations out there we're going to have to follow. And that's just, it's in the interest of safety. As a professional, I am interested in safety. Safety is one of the first things I do. It's one of the things I think about all the time when my drone is in the air, and it's what you need to be doing also. I hate to preach, but I see stuff on the news all the time that just gives the industry a bad name, and we just don't want to do it. Fly safely, you know, don't get involved in any incidents that get you on the news in a negative way. Do not fly under the influence. Just like anything else, when you're under the influence, you're not using good judgment. You need good judgment to operate these birds in the air. So if you're going to drink, go ahead and drink, just like you would find somebody else to drive you home. Leave your hands off the remote until you're sober. Thank you. Okay, just a note for all of you who haven't gotten a 3, maybe going from a 2 to a 4, and haven't worked with the pad as your viewer yet. This was my first time plugging in from the remote to my iPad. There isn't a cable that comes in the kit for that. None of the USB cables that come with the 4, and probably 90% of you already know that. I did not, so for those of you who didn't, you need to get the cable for your pad, the USB cable. I just used it for charging before this, so plug the USB cable in the back down here and then into the side. I opened up the app for the Phantom 4 and it automatically opened up. It automatically connected to the camera, and then it told me I had an update to do. And that just took a few seconds to do that update on the pad. It says upgrade successful. So I'm hitting the complete button. And this is the Phantom 4. Now it says camera down here, so I'm going to activate Phantom 4. Going through the process. You must activate your aircraft the first time you connect to it. Do this will also activate your 1-year warranty. So next, choose the name for your aircraft. And then continue up in the top right, control mode. We're going to go with 2 for the default right now. Tells me the remote controls, you know, on the left is up, going right to left. Continue, it's just telling about your controllers, customizable buttons. C1, camera forward, and C2, those are the 2 buttons that are in the back for you to customize. Okay, whoops. Make sure you got her on there good and tight. I had her on, but she fell off anyways. We're going to continue. Choose your preference, unit, and video output. Video output, NTSC, Imperial. I'm going to go with the defaults, Imperial or metric. Unit of measurement, I'm going to go with Imperial. I don't want to use metric. Okay, continue. It is highly recommended that you fly in beginner mode. Beginner mode is on for this. I'm going to leave it in beginner mode. I can change it fairly easily later. I think I'm advanced enough I can do without it, but I'm going to fly it in beginner mode first, and I'm going to go through the modes and let's see what they do. Confirm your account. Sign in. Confirm your account. Activate, connect to server. Your aircraft information will be bound to this account. Phantom 4, activation successful. Upgrade firmware to the latest version before flying. Now we're going to go ahead and do another upgrade to make sure is the adapter cable connected. Okay, we want to connect to the aircraft. It says, let's switch this around. Let's do it this way. Is that what you were trying to tell me?
Before I asked you if I should help you look for something.
Small adapter from the aircraft, and then from out of my tablet into the USB adapter. Now we should be flying. Alright, click. Start upgrade. So we are now connected to the aircraft. Starting the upgrade. Upgrade in progress. Do not power off your equipment or exit the app. Upgrading. This may take just a few minutes to do. I'm at 2% just while we're talking. You can kind of see the screen here as it's updating. Alright, Danielati, Firefly Aerial Photography Services. We are setting up our DJI that we just unboxed, and we have gone through the process. It's done an upgrade successfully, and it tells me now, and just so you can see, we are connected to the side in the port, to the USB adapter, USB in. This is the USB cable that came with my, did not come with the kit, it came with my iPad, connected into that adapter and then into the iPad. This works off of cellular, so I was able to update the pad and update the DJI through that. So what we are going to do now is disconnect this and reconnect back up so that the pad is connected to the controller. It says upgrade successful. Connect remote controller to the aircraft, so we need to disconnect this to do that. So I will pull this out. While we are here and we have the cable out of the way, you'll see right here, this is the port for the mini USB card. So the mini disc, the mini SD card. So we've disconnected from that. The aircraft is disconnected. You'll note that I do not have my props on. I had time. I thought about, while I was upgrading for that few minutes, I thought about it. But I don't like to have props on in the house unless I'm actually set up to do a flight in a house for some sort of real estate photography. That is not the case here. I'm working on it. I haven't gotten the app open and checked settings. So in the interest of safety, if something would happen and the motors would start up, it's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to maybe scare me a little bit. That's about it. So I'll connect remote control to the aircraft. I am now going to, on the screen it says complete. And then I'm going to press camera, safety tutorial, camera, and voila. Now if you can see the screen, you can see it's moving. You can see it adjusts. So let's do this. Let's bring the camera up so you can see me being filmed. That's my assistant. So now we have all kinds of stuff to go through here. Calibration normal. I will calibrate this outside before I do anything. You can see I've got a map down here. It tells me right where I am. That's very nice. Overall status, IMU, compass, gimbal. I'm going to go through all of these things and you can see what we got going. So flight mode. Mode RCA mode, aircraft battery. It's 28% on my battery, so I won't be flying with this battery. Another note I'll give for you is while we were out, I have my aircraft registered with the Part 47 N number. That is the N number that you see on any airplane. because this is my commercial product. There is a registration out there. If you are flying this for fun, you need to register this machine, have your registration number on it before you ever put it into the air outside. Whether we like those rules or not, they are what they are for now. So you want to be able to do that. I've got my N number. I took my little labeler, took me 2 seconds to print out an N number and stick it on there. I'm covered now for commercial use with this craft. I'm registered with the FDA with this crash. That's one of the things I did in the last couple of days when I had it here. I got that N number all set up. I've already got several of them reserved, so I just fill in my 8050-1 form and send that in, and I'm registered. So we're at 0 feet. Everything's 0 miles per hour. Everything's good. Shows where my aircraft is. Strong interference detected. Oh, that just went out. So that's probably me goofing around with it and putting my hand. Yep. Put my hand on top and stuff like that. That may have interfered with so I'm going to just cut that down. Low power, it's giving me, because I'm at 27%, I got a low power warning going on the screen here. I like the 3-foot deal because I'm actually 3 feet off the ground. That's what this sensor is here. I'm about 3 feet off the ground with my desk. That's telling me I'm 3 feet off the ground. I raise it up and it goes up. It's up to, I raise it up 3 feet, it goes up 6 feet. So that's a handy little item there. My HD is good. My remote's strong. I have 11 satellites. You can see the green lights flashing down there. Just tell me that. Nope, I don't have green lights flashing. Because of my low power, it won't let me fly, so my green lights are no longer flashing. It's solid red in the front. That's understandable. Home position, GPS is locked in with 11 satellites. So if I had a stronger battery, I could take off and fly. So what we are going to do now is we are going to charge my battery. We're going to get it all set up. I may do an additional tutorial going through all of the setups. These setups are all new to me, so I want to go through them and set them all up the way I like them, and then I can come back and have a video on that. So you can stay tuned at the website at www.fireflyaerialphotography.com, and then from there we will go. So thank you very much.